Yeah, the more I think about this, and we talk it out here, and we've been talking about this for a couple of days straight here, I'm surprised that Holmes would want to have an extension now. There is uncertainty with the Mets. Like, I'd love to have Clay Holmes back, but you don't even know who the manager is going to be. You don't know what other. It's hard to come to that decision now and have an extension, and I think it's going to be billed as, so far it has been billed as, Holmes wants to be here, but the Mets are reluctant to extend him. That's what it feels like as we get closer to the trade deadline. In reality, both sides really shouldn't want an extension right now. Trade him if the value is good. Revisit if he really wants to be back here. Let the Mets get things in order. See what the market says he's worth. And then maybe revisit it. I think that's probably best for both sides at this point. Where initially, Chelsea, I was thinking the Mets should extend Clay Holmes.
My only argument is he can pitch here. And
yeah.
From the Mets
and that's a huge deal.
That is worth throwing something at him in July and saying, sign this. No, I think you're absolutely right. Walking up to him, Clay Holmes is not the kind of guy who's going to be like, no, I hate it here. I don't think he does. But if you're the Mets, he can succeed here. And that, to me, is worth throwing something at him now, which makes it a little surprising to me that it seems like they're not pushing that hard. But to your point, maybe they know something we don't about how eager he is to sign.
Yeah, and you think about this, the Mets are going to need pitchers next year. Like, they need a lot of them. So if Clay Holmes isn't here, one of them, who else is going to be here? Hey, look at these three youngsters, not quite Generation K. Any of you three know Generation K?
I do. Bill Pulsifer, Jason Isringhausen, and Paul Wilson. Let's go.
All right, anyway, hopefully these guys are better. You have the promise being shown by McLean, Scott, and Thornton, who I love. McLean, Scott, Thornton expected to be a part of this rotation. You think that's a solid core, Tony, when you're looking ahead to next year?
I think it's a nice little start. I wouldn't say this is the core that I definitively want to build around. I like all three pitchers. Let me be clear on this. But this could just be who Nolan McLean is, a little bit inconsistent. Like, the stuff is great, obviously. We talk about that constantly with Nolan McLean, but we don't know yet if he has the ability to put it together and really become that ace-level pitcher that people had hoped he would be. He still can. We're not going to have that answer definitively going into the offseason. Christian Scott, same thing. You love the stuff, but he hasn't been able to put it together. Andy Green's just talking about his command. That has been the case more often than not this season, and everyone's going to want to point to Brett Beatty's misplay today, to your point. However, like, Christian Scott got himself in that jam. The ball was hit hard. He did not necessarily take his teammate off the hook after that. So I'm being a harsh critic here. Zach Thornton, kind of same thing. Like, he's had a nice few starts, but his expected ERA is more than double his actual ERA. This stuff isn't going to blow you away. Can he be a nice back-end starter for the Mets? Yeah, my point is just, like, if you're looking at these three starters and saying, we're good, like, we don't need to go out and supplement this or in a big way, I think you're fooling yourself, and I think that's how you get into trouble as a front office in an offseason.
Excellent point. Here's what I need out of these guys. Scott's got to go deeper into games. I'm sorry. He misses bats. I'm super encouraged by that. How many of these starts he added a game in the fourth or the fifth inning? Got to give me more. I like Thornton because he can compete, but you mentioned it. He's been incredibly fortunate, right? Like, his expected ERA, not great. His actual performance in these last couple of starts, really impressive. David Peterson had a similar profile with that expected ERA. Everyone's like, hey, when is the bottom going to drop out for David Peterson? We got our answer in the second half of last year. It's a nice place to start. But when we hit the offseason, it's time to go shopping at Bloomingdale's to go get a big-time starting pitcher. Not at Kmart, not in the clearance rack, big-time starting pitcher.
100%, because you know what you can't count on young guys who are still developing to do? To be something they haven't been. They did that with Nolan McLean, and it put too much pressure on him. You have to take the pressure off. You have to let guys develop by putting people around them who take the pressure off when you need a win.
They're not 1, 2, 3.
Right.
They're 3, 4, 5. Maybe McLean really.
Or 4, 5, 6.
And look, McLean still can be one, but you just can't rely on it heading into the offseason. If he is, that's amazing.
Well, to be
you
fair,
have a really good team.
To be fair, they didn't rely on him to be number 1 this year, although people were saying on this set, comparing him to Tom Seaver and Jacob deGrom, but they relied on him to be a number 2, which still, to me, was a little bit too much behind Freddie Peralta, whose actual ERA is one of the worst in Major League Baseball.